Hey, have you ever wanted to quit your job but you didn't know how you could do it, and then you saw some person on the internet that said you should just take the leap and quit? I'm going to tell you the exact opposite, how to do it safely, successfully, and effectively. Step number 1, treat your job like an investor. This is a place that you get to show up and you get paid to do it, but what happens is when you don't like your job, you start spending money on short-term pleasures. But what you gotta do is start to give up some of those short-term pleasures in order to have long-term freedom. And what I mean by that is treat your job like an investor. If you have a dream and you want to leave your job eventually, you got to start going to work with the expectation that you're going to walk away with capital and money that you save specifically to give yourself a psychological cushion in order to fund your dream business, in order to step away. And what happens is people take the leap when they don't have any capital, when they don't have any money set aside. So it stresses them out when they quit their job, and eventually they go back to safety. So here's what I'm saying. Start to save 10, 20, 30%, as much money as you possibly can, that every time a check comes into you, every time you get money, you put it in an account that you do not touch. And I hear what you're saying. You're like, I can't do that. I have all these bills to pay. I have all these debts. I have all these things, and you don't understand. The worst thing that's gonna happen if you start to save, the worst thing is you're gonna have the money in your own bank account. And if you start to save money, first it might be $100, then $200. Pretty soon the account's at $700, then $1,000, then $3,000. Pretty soon you have $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 in a bank account that's your financial freedom account that will allow you to fund your dream business or give you a psychological cushion in order to quit. Then you have freedom, then you have courage. Then you can start to create your dream business and your dream life, and you have the safety and the freedom in order to leave your job because you're not gonna be stressed right when you do that. So save as much as you can and treat your job like an investor. Number two, have a vision. If you don't have a vision for your life, you become a part of somebody else's vision. It's really hard to save money every single month and treat your job like an investor if you don't have a vision or a purpose for why you're doing it. And what happens is people quit their jobs all the time, but they don't have a vision, they don't have a dream. You know what? Martin Luther King is the only person who has a dream that one day you have a dream. What's your one day dream? What if? What if you saved and you had enough money for 6 or 12 months and you could go tackle your dream life? What is it that you would do? A long-term vision, where you could be in 10 years. Most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a year and underestimate what they can accomplish in a decade. And if you're looking short-term when you quit your job and it doesn't happen in a year, then you get frustrated, you go back to your old job, and then you live your life full of regret. So what would happen 10 years down the road for it to be your dream life, and start to think about what that very thing is, because that's your 10-year vision. And when you're going through the short-term challenges, you can have this greater cause that's pulling you forward. And if you have the money set aside, then you can tackle all the short-term challenges to make your dream life possible. So what is your larger vision? Because that's what's gonna allow you to stop all these short-term purchases and pleasures so that you can fund your dream life. Step number 3. Have the courage to be disliked, to be misunderstood. Not everyone needs to get it. You just have to feel your dream. You just have to be smart. You just have to save. You just have to have a larger vision. And some people won't get that. So when you want to quit your job and you put money aside and you have your dream business, your friends, your colleagues, your lovers, whoever it is, your boss, your parents, people won't understand. But anyone who lives their dream life at first seems crazy to everyone else. And get it, we're social creatures. We grew up in tribes. Naturally, we want to be accepted. We want to be liked, so that when our old friends, when old people in our lives don't really get it, oftentimes we give up on our dreams. But if you reject your own dreams, you're rejecting yourself. Even if someone else rejects you, as long as you're saying yes to yourself and your dreams and your highest excitement, you're on the right path. So just remember this, not everyone needs to get it. You just have to feel it. You just have to feel it so you can overcome all the short-term challenges, so you have this larger vision that you're working towards. Quit your job safely and successfully by treating your job like an investor, putting away as much money as you can and as much capital as you can. And then after that, know what your vision is. See it clearly, a 10-year vision. Visualize it every day. Have this clarity to move you towards it, and have the courage to be disliked and rejected, because just past that fear is ultimate freedom.